So, welcome everyone to the first installment of the Platinum Code podcast. I'll be one of your speakers, Adam, aka Adam Platinum on Twitch, as the chat knows me as.
And I'll be the second addition to the podcast, Frank or Faakk on Twitter and Twitch.
All right. So, one of the big reasons we wanted to start this podcast, and the reason why ultimately we needed to do this, is just because we feel that as a whole, content creation and streaming is somewhat of a stale thing right now, and it's not necessarily fun. But we found that just through our conversations and through just communicating as friends for so long, that we had something there to discuss, and we thought, why not just put it in a podcast form?
I also kind of just miss talking to friends, man. I feel like ever since streaming took off, people really don't sit in parties anymore and talk.
Right. I mean, like, the thing about our friends is that they graduated college and then just instantly took off with whatever they're doing. Or, like, we had people that did programs instead of college and then they just went straight into working.
Yeah, we really got left in the dirt, huh? We got stuck with Twitch streaming, and everyone else went off to full-time careers.
See, but the thing about that is, though, like, we wanted a hobby at first, and like it's still a really fun hobby to do, but the like our friends are just kind of, I'm not gonna say unhappy, but they're just like fucking trucking, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, I feel that too. I work full time as well, and it fucking sucks. It really does. But when the week ends or the day ends and I can sit down and stream, it's honestly fucking refreshing. I sit down and I enjoy myself for a bit.
Right. I mean, I work pretty much part time as part time can be, and then I stream as close to full time as full time can be. And it just kind of flip flops. Like, sometimes I'll get home and I'm just like, do I really want to do this? But ultimately, I really just enjoy the atmosphere of streaming and starting a community. It's just sometimes it's really draining to have a 10-hour day and then regroup at home for an hour and then ultimately just go stream for another 5 to 6, maybe even 8 sometimes hours.
Definitely, and that's kind of the thing. Like at the end of an 8.5 to 9 hour shift a day, like after I'm sitting in a chair all day, do I want to sit down for another two? And sometimes you would know better than anyone, really. Sometimes you sit down and you stream and it's great, and other times it honestly makes you more depressed than you started. So
Well, it
really
depends.
just depends.
Yeah, I was going to say, it really just depends on the type of day. Like, I take streaming more so now as like a kind of just a business. You kind of have to in terms of growth and, community building. And some days you hop on and you're just like, man, it's been 4 hours. I've gotten like 7 or 8 followers. And you hate to look at it in terms of numbers, but like you have 7 or 8 followers on the day, but you lost like five already. And then on top of that, you're like, I don't really want to be that person that thrives off of making money off the stream. But even if you think of it that way too, you're like, man, I've gotten like nothing, maybe like 10 bits or like 3 subs throughout the course of like the whole week. And you get discouraged really bad.
And it's not to go on a tangent about it, but I can't be the only one that feels like a scumbag if I run an ad. Like I don't think I've ran an ad on Twitch in over a year.
I can't do it. The thing is, you want to maintain the people that are already there and you want to make sure that they're having fun, and you ultimately don't want to come off as that person that's just like really in it for the money. Granted, this might be something that like if you want extra income, you need to do that, but most people, they're doing it as a hobby, they're doing it as a way to escape whatever job that they have. So if they're just running ads to make that extra dollar, it just you got to weigh out the options. You got to weigh out the people that you're going to potentially piss off versus the people that are like, yo, run like seven, I don't care.
And that's the thing too, like at the end of the day with streaming, you are providing entertainment cuz I mean, TV is dead. I don't know many
Yeah.
people that watch TV shows anymore. Like Twitch and YouTube are literally the new TV. And if
Hmm.
you're sitting there for 6 hours, which I'm not, I'm well known for running a 2-hour stream.
Right.
Um but if you sit there for 6 hours and I mean, you're entertaining people, I think you're entitled to some compensation. Like I don't think there's an issue with it, but
Right. But at the end of the day too, it's like I have currently almost 3600 followers on Twitch, and I've grown tremendously over the past however many few months, and it's like I couldn't have gotten there if I ran three ads per stream. Every time I went to go take a piss, I just ran an ad or something like that. Or I need to go get some food real quick and I just ran a quick ad. So like you just have to kind of talk about it with mods, and I talked about it with my Discord a lot, and I got very mixed reviews. Some people were like, yeah, go right ahead, like run 7, I don't care. And then another few were like, dude, that's scummy, why would you even think about it? So you're kind of like in the middle, and you're just like, what can I do at this point? In Twitch as a whole, you make some money off of their ads that they run at the beginning, I believe, if I've looked at the analytics properly.
Yeah,
But
it's like a whopping 3 cents,
I was
but
gonna say, I think it's been like, I think I made maybe 10, 15 bucks off of ads for 1 month at a time before, and that's about it.
yeah. Well, let's maybe take a step back actually. Let's maybe talk about how we met and then kind of how we got into streaming.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to give your perspective on how we met, or do you want me to do it?
So basically what I was just gonna say is like before Frank and I were friends, we had a mutual group of friends that we intertwined with beforehand, but we never really met until after high school. So the mutual friends that we had, I used to really hang out with and like enjoy being around. And then basically through high school, I had like some depressive moments where I kind of just felt like their friendship was toxic to me. So I kind of left and did my own thing while one of my friends graduated high school and the other ones were just doing their own thing. So then finally high school ended and I was just doing my thing with college courses in the summer right after high school. And that's kind of like how we intertwined back, was just going through that friend group again.
Yeah, and to branch off of that, it's funny because we went to the same high school, but I literally had no idea who you were.
Yeah, it didn't cross my mind, and obviously the one reason I knew who you were was that mutual girl that we knew.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get more into that in a little bit, but I remember just our buddy TJ inviting us to the party. Well, inviting me to the party primarily because I was playing Black Ops 3 Zombies Chronicles.
Yeah,
I was on
PlayStation
Moon.
4.
Yup, I think that was right when it came out too. But I was playing Moon, and I was just like, all right, let's go for it. And I remember just talking right away and like kind of acting like we were friends to begin with, because I kind of just really didn't care what I said. But at the same time, I was like, if I piss this kid off, it's not like it's gonna ruin my day, because we've never really talked before.
Yeah, it was funny too because we could always dive into it later if wanted or if you feel like it. But there
Right.
was someone in that party too who you were not on good terms with at the time, who I'm friends with, and you're basically friends with, I guess, now. So it was like, oh man, we're gonna invite Adam, but our other friends in here and they don't get along. I was like, oh fuck,
Right.
I'm gonna have to sit through this one.
And that to me, to be honest, was more of like a me thing. I guess I just didn't want to let it go. But at the same time, like I was really into that girl in high school. And it was basically, for people that don't know, I was obsessed with a girl in high school. I talk about it in chat, and she just kind of shreked my shit. And that kind of started my downward spiral of depression my junior year into like maybe my middle of senior year. And our one of our friends happened to date her at a point, so I just couldn't get that side of things out of my head. And there was some background shit that really made me sad, and I just didn't want to deal with it. But finally TJ was just like, you have to deal with this if you really want to just talk to us. And I didn't care anymore at that point. High school was done. I thought, I'm never going to see anyone besides the people I really want to see again, so why not just go into it with no expectations of being friends or anything, or just vibing out?
And at the end of the day, that situation made us friends. So fuck you. You know who you are.
No, I think I handled all of those situations horribly. Absolutely horribly at the time, and I would love to be able to go back and say sorry, but it is what it is, cuz we're 22 years old at this point. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Shit's in the
I'll be
past.
I'll be 23 in a couple months, an old man.
Isn't that scary?
Maybe we can move into how we got into streaming, or like maybe who you first started watching, like inspirations on YouTube, anything like that. So what got you into streaming specifically?
So when junior year hit after my little depressive state, I decided like to not really invest time into anything. And at that point, one of my buddies was like, dude, you need to cut the shit. Like, we play zombies. We've done the Shadows of Evil Easter egg like 3 times. Like, you need to get over yourself. And like, I basically wouldn't do it. So he sent me a link and he's like, this guy is literally trying to figure out how to upgrade the Apothicon Servant. If this dude cannot take your mind off of things for at least an hour, then he's like, I don't know what else to tell you. So I clicked the link and little did I know it was Noah J456, like arguably one of my favorite streamers. Ultimately, like made me discover what the whole industry was about.
A zombie savant,
Yes,
some would
basically
say.
the legend of Call of Duty Zombies and basically everyone's inspiration, I think, for content creation. But what about you? What was your favorite streamer or first streamer to come into this?
So I guess if we're talking like YouTube, like
Mm,
what got me into watching gameplays on YouTube, that probably started back in like 2012 with
yeah,
like Minnesota Burns and people like that and KYR Speedy, but and like Nade Shot and
oh, of
competitive
course.
COD and stuff like that. But when it came to streaming, I don't really know why I ever started streaming, to be honest with you. Like I kind of woke up one day and I downloaded Streamlabs and was like reading into it. And uh, fucking fun fact for everyone: my first ever stream was Thief Simulator, of all video
I
games.
remember that. I remember that too.
Yeah, so I think it was like October of 2018 was my first ever stream, and I don't know why I ever started streaming. Honestly, it was something I watched, and I kind of just went for it. And yeah, there's not really reasoning behind it, I guess.
See, and I felt like when we became close enough friends and I kind of like had a vision in my head, I was like, I kind of want to consider streaming and see how it works. And I kind of like elbowed you a little bit in a PlayStation party. I'm just like, yo, have you ever thought of like potentially being a Twitch streamer or like a streamer in general or a YouTuber? And you're like, oh yeah, all the time. And you just went on about oh, it must be the most fun thing in the world. And like, if it somehow took off, you would feel so amazing about yourself and be able to like have this luxurious career in producing content.
Which is funny because I believe when we had that conversation, I was already streaming, but I literally told nobody for like the first couple months that I was streaming. Because at the time, like streaming was starting to blow up, but it was still like that
Hmm.
thing that you didn't tell people about because it's kind of embarrassing.
Right, right. That was so hard because like I knew especially in like 2016, 2017, I was like if I could do something right this second and actually like work for it, it would be streaming because I watched Noah J all the time. I watched Codename Pizza, basically all the zombie streamers that you could think of, but I was truthfully super envious of Pack-a-Puncher. Are you familiar with like Pack-a-Puncher's come up at all or anything?
Not necessarily as come up, but I've heard you mention him a good handful of times in the past.
So Pack-a-Puncher is an interesting like come up story. He basically got assigned a project in I think his like freshman or sophomore year of high school, and it pretty much like it was like a business perspective thing. Like you need to see something or like along the lines of you need to develop something in some way. And he chose like I'm going to see how I can like develop a YouTube channel, see how that works in terms of a business, see if it can take off in any regard, etc. So this kid, the first however many months of streaming, like he was playing Black Ops 2 zombies, Black Ops 3 zombies, like any type of zombies known to man on YouTube, the same time when like Noah J and all them were having their huge come ups with like Garad Crovey release, Revelations release, all that good stuff. And it was just amazing to see because he was just doing whatever he wanted. He literally one day did town no revive challenge and it fucking changed the game. Like, and then the next week he did a Nuketown no revive challenge, and I shit you not, Frank, every major zombie streamer at that time did a no revive Nuketown challenge after Pack-a-Punch did it.
It's funny how something that small in such like a at the time saturated community kind of
Mm-hmm.
blew up and took over there, especially with someone who probably wasn't very big at the time.
Oh no, not at all. He had like maybe and this is a lot. Like we're talking with, for me I have 135 subs on YouTube and like 3,000 on Twitch. This kid had 300,000, so like you could take or leave YouTube or streaming at that point unless you're getting really generous people donating money or contributing like memberships and stuff like that. So it's just crazy to see how a kid like this, who was a sophomore, not even really expecting it to become a super huge industry for him, become, pretty much a trendsetter in zombies right away. Like I remember watching the Smith plays, Noah and Codename Pizza all trying it within the same few days, like multiple times. And Faakk had, I think, number 3 world record at the time too for no revive on Nuketown.
It's truly weird how YouTube and Twitch kind of work. Like it's so give or take, and like we can sit here for hours talking about just like the trend of Twitch, and it's so weird. But I kind of wanted to actually maybe go into, and I know it's your favorite game of all time, but maybe your come up on Battlefront 2 actually, because I know for a fact, like when you were streaming, like it's easy to get down on yourself when you have like what 28 followers at the time,
Right.
and then Battlefront 2 hits and things just kind of skyrocket. So what was that kind of like to see?
So a little bit about Battlefront was that everyone knows, whoever played it, is that when it released, it was a really, really bad game, like pure utter dog shit, like riddled with microtransactions, and just the developers seemed like they were scammy. So it got this bad reputation from the literal get go. On top of the shitty movies, not only just The Last Jedi, but The Rise of Skywalker too.
Yeah,
Like
this.
a horrible momentum from all aspects of Star Wars, right? So then I go on YouTube, and one of my favorite YouTubers too, Penguin Zero, aka Charlie Moist Man, he came out with a video that said Battlefront 2 is actually pretty good. So I was like, there's no way. I'm like, I
That's a great
remember,
video.
yeah, yeah, because I thought you said something to watch it or something like that if we were
Yeah.
on PlayStation. And I
Yep.
remember, like, you had it, and we were talking when I was playing World War II, and you're like, this game is horrible, man. Like, it's not. I remember you saying that. So I was like, I'm not even going to remotely get this.
It
And
was bad at the time.
exactly. So I was like, there's no way this game could be good. And Charlie, I watched all of his video, and I like Charlie. I think I have somewhat of a bias towards his videos, and I just think they're pretty good. So of
I love
course,
Charlie.
yeah, dude, Charlie, he's the fucking man. But at that point, I was like, you know what? I'll buy it. So I bought it on PC, which, I mean, probably not the best choice to begin with, but whatever. I bought it. I bought the $40 version. So I got all the skins, all like that good stuff. So I didn't have to waste my time. And it was actually pretty good. I played with my buddy Al and Chris on it for a few weeks, and thought it was fun. And I decided to make videos. And one of the guys I saw first, Ozzy Jedi, he was killing it, just like making like back to back, like 100,000 plus videos. Like it's constantly growing, and he's just killing it with Battlefront stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna do this. And a few months of like inconsistent Battlefront uploads, I decided, like maybe just try streaming it. So when
Yeah.
we finally
Yep.
got to that point, it was like right around June. So Battlefront had just finished their update. They said that their vision was complete, and they decided to make it free on PlayStation Plus. And at that point, I'd only been streaming like Toontown, Mario Kart slash
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch, and Dead by Daylight with you occasionally. So when that happened, I came into it with like, I think between 35 and 50 followers. I don't remember. But it took no shortage of time. I would switch back and forth between PC and PS4, and that's how I was able to meet some pretty incredible people like Minnie. I actually played with him on stream. I remember, I wish I had it clipped. I remember getting into a game with him because his name was Daisy Ridley Simp. And I remember saying it all the time. I was like, I want to play with this kid the entire night just because of his name. And after a few hours of like playing or whatever, he finally ends and he raids me. He goes, "Yo, we played together, and like we played with and against each other a handful of times tonight." And I was like, "What was your name?" And lo and behold, his name was fucking Daisy Ridley Simp. So that made me so
Yep.
happy because I felt like that like was meant to happen.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that too. And I remember even playing Battlefront with you like early on in that streaming,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a good game, like in theory, but then you start playing HVV for a couple hours a day and you're like, I don't know how long I can fucking do this actually. And that's kind of where I called it quits on that game. And I clearly missed the viewer peak by just a month roughly.
Especially with the skill gap in that game, because in June everyone was a complete potato, did not know what to do, had no mechanical abilities whatsoever, and then finally once that skill gap like was fixed and you actually learned something, it wasn't fun playing anymore. And I could see that through you. You were like, everyone's like actually getting decent. It's just boring, etc. So I
Yep.
didn't I didn't have a problem with you like saying, "Hey, I'm done playing this," because I know ultimately you play what you want to play, and I was at that point trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the stream. I knew that I was on something a little bit special, and I wanted to keep this going no matter what I could do.
It's funny too, because I feel like I probably got well, not all of them, but a good amount of my followers, like my most kind followers,
Mm.
came from Battlefront 2.
Oh, I agree for sure. I liked it. I loved being able to discuss like Star Wars news with everyone. Star Wars theories. I love Star Wars theories, like the YouTube channel, the actual theories themselves. We had many countless hours of fun just talking about all that cool stuff, and at points I really do miss it. But Star Wars is in such a weird place right now where the game needs to be revolutionary to really
We're
make
gonna
me
have
want to
to
come back.
we're gonna have to dedicate a whole episode to talking about Star Wars because that
I
can get lengthy.
I really, really agree with that because Star Wars is such a for such a fantastic universe. It has some of the worst movies and some of the worst designs possible. It's just insane.
Maybe we save that one for like Justy or Spencer.
I was gonna say, with Justy and Spencer, we could talk a whole lot about Star Wars because Spencer, believe it or not, has some affiliation with some of the YouTubers that I just talked about, like Ozzy Jedi and stuff like that. So he would
That's
be
pretty
able to
awesome.
branch out more in the Battlefront community with all that stuff. But
Also, I just leaked that Spencer and Justy probably will be on here at some point
yes,
if that
well,
excites anyone.
we want Spencer and Justy on here, so if they watch it, just putting that out there.
Justy's more than aware.
Oh, of course. But I want to talk more about like cuz you started streaming like a way earlier than me.
I would argue, not to sound like a pioneer, but I would argue I started streaming right before it blew up.
Yes. I do really agree because at that point not every person in the universe put TTV in their name. Not everybody was messaging you to check out their YouTube channel, and not everyone was like putting in their clan tag like sub to or anything like that.
Yeah, and if you're a TTV streamer, I don't like you as a side note, but yeah, I mean, well, what did you want to what did you want to talk about regarding it?
Well, I kind of want your insight on it because I feel like if I had streamed at that point, I think I would have gotten too caught up in the numbers right away and given up.
Yeah, I streaming kind of became a thing because honestly, I wasn't really doing shit. Like, I kind of lived the same day every day in
Mm,
like 2017, 2018. Like, I woke up, I did my college classes, I went to the gym, I played video games. And it sounds shitty, but like everyone else had stuff going on. And it was like,
right,
well, I don't have any friends to play with. So, I mean, I might as well stream, I guess.
right.
And at the time, it's tough because back then I almost feel like it was harder to, well, I don't know, that's backhanded. I was gonna say it's almost harder to blow up back then than it is now. It is, but it isn't. Like
I that
I
that's yeah, it's a really tough way. It's a tough thing to weigh out because back then there weren't as many, I would say, many options, and the modern options now were not even relevant back then. Like when you started, Apex Legends was not even remotely a thing. When you started, Black Ops 4 was just about to release. It had not yet released yet. It was
yep,
about to release. And Fortnite single-handedly took over Twitch and is still at the top along the lines with League of Legends. I think PUBG was still a big force on Twitch at that point too. So like you
yep.
were you were at a point where you had some games, but they were the games that the Shrouds, the Doctor Disrespects, the Ninjas, the everyone were just collabing with each other on and just blowing up one another literally daily.
And that's what was tough. Like I've said multiple times, I never get wrapped up in the numbers
Right.
really, but I mean, I love getting followers. It's awesome. I
Oh
love
yeah.
interacting and having new people come in, but at that time, Like the fact that I'm still streaming to me is honestly appalling. I've taken so many breaks, and like it's been probably almost 3 years now that I've
Right.
been streaming, and I've taken so many breaks, and like there's been like months where I went without a follower,
Right.
or like even someone in chat at that point. Like I went like weeks with no one in chat, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like I said, it was just that thing where like no one's here to play. I might as well stream it, and if something funny happens, I'll have a clip.
Well,
That was almost the thought process behind it.
yeah. I also want to talk about it too because you said that you've taken a few breaks here and there. Like, what really caused you to take a break? Not initially, I know why you took a break, but like all the other times after that little or big 6 month hiatus from Twitch.
After the 6 month break.
Yeah, that because that was understandable. You were finally starting to experience some things in life that you actually enjoyed and you wanted to seize them, which I highly, highly recommend anyone. If you have an opportunity that you think will generate you so much happiness and so much fun, just to go for it right away and don't even really think about what you're doing. As stupid as it sounds, your happiness is everything.
That's where the numbers become an issue.
Yeah,
Like my stream wasn't, I'm at like 260 something followers right
right.
now. I'm still small as hell, but like the stream at the time was picking up
Oh, of
when
course.
I took that 6 month break. Like
Right.
I think I had made like, I don't know, like $50 that month,
Yeah,
which is big.
of
That's big
course.
for me at the time. And
No, for
um
anybody that's streaming, like especially now starting out, $50 in a month is seriously so good. You guys have no idea the numbers like behind the scenes. I just found this out from the graphic designer that made some of my stuff on stream. If you have over 7 viewers average in chat, you're like within the top 5% of all Twitch streamers.
that's not surprising at
It
all.
it's so insane to me that that's a statistic. And like the fact that if you have above 100 viewers, you're like in the point 0.3 or something like that is still amazing because I see people now that have gone, especially in the COD Zombies community on Twitch, that has gone from 20 viewers the last like 3 weeks when I was kicking ass on Cold War to
Yep.
just going past me tremendously just because they're a world record caliber Zombies player and they went from 20 to literally 150 average in
Yep.
like 3 weeks time. So
All it takes is one break.
I was gonna say all it takes is one break, but that's the hard part too because that one break can be your big downfall too for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And that's almost where I'm fortunate. I never hit a very big break. So it was
Right.
kind of like I was stagnant. So like taking breaks, I never really cared. But I always joke around that I did kill my channel taking that 6 month break.
You kind of have to
But
do that though with your case especially because you knew you were happy with it. Like you knew you were happy with the break and what you were doing. So like you kind of have to give that sense of comic relief for the people that especially like when I would hop into your stream you're just like, "Oh yeah, hey, we finally got a viewer after like killing my channel."
yeah, and that's the thing. Like honestly, like as much as I joke about my channel like being dead and whatnot, it's more active now than it's
I
been
Yeah, I
in
was going to say
forever, I
I
think.
feel like you had a few bumps after that 6 month break, but then you ultimately it's the same thing as it was when you left,
Yep.
you know?
Um But yeah, to dial it back to taking breaks and streaming, they're almost essential. Like there's
Yes.
times where I stream once in the week and I'm like, yeah, I'm taking a break. And I let everyone know in Discord, my Discord, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna stream for like a week.
Right.
And they understand and it's not a big deal. Like and that's the thing with taking a break on Twitch. People will understand, but people will also forget.
Yeah.
So as soon as you take that break, you're like the streamer in the rear view mirror to them. Like you're
Exactly.
gone, and that's
High
the issue.
key for sure. The business does not end. Like literally Twitch, YouTube, any form of content creation does not sleep and people will not hesitate to drop you in a second if there's someone that is more willing to put out this type of content and is more willing to do it frequently as opposed to taking breaks. That's like the thing I want to talk about too is I got to 3,500 followers on Twitch, and I haven't taken more than I would say, I think at worst 3 days off in between a stream. And I think 3 days for me is a little drastic because I think I had to literally be depressed when my dog. I'm just showing them my dog pictures in the background. When my dog, I had to put her down. I took like maybe 2 days, like 2 to 3 days, and I was like, this is not helping. Like I need to be streaming because this is what makes me happy. So if you're like mega burnt at a game or like at any type of content, just literally switch it up. Switch it up just so you can give yourself more sanity. Like, and I'm dealing with that now with my first real lull on streaming with Cold War Zombies. I'm trying to figure out games that I think could generate me some growth, but also make sure it keeps my sanity in check, because at times it's like, why am I doing this for 5-6 hours and I'm not enjoying the game, but also my viewers don't seem to be interested as well. So it's just like one of those things. You can't be burnt out with a business like this, but you also have to really hone in if it's your hobby or if it's something that you want to make like part-time or potentially even full-time.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing with Twitch. Like games ruin themselves, and you
Mm-hmm.
ruin games yourself as well by
Yep.
playing them too much. Example, DBD ruined itself currently. Um,
Yes.
fuck you, DBD devs. But
Dude, yeah.
yeah, that game, like I was streaming that consistently for maybe over a month at that point,
Yeah.
and they ruined the game, and now I'm kind of, well, I found Apex now, but it's a constant
Mm-hmm.
thought process of thinking of what you're going to play next. It's pretty rare I stream the same game like in a row for a week. I usually switch
Right.
it up. It's too hard not to.
Yeah, and that's where we kind of differ as streamers, because you definitely, I like, but that's the thing. I really enjoy that you're able to switch it up and your mentality stays the same. It's like I prioritize my enjoyment for the game, and what I want to play means more to me than, catering to an audience of the, in your case, what has your highest been lately? Like when I rated you, like 20 plus?
Like my highest viewers ever.
Yeah.
I think I've peaked at like 30 something at some point, but like
Right.
average, I probably average like 10.
Right. So like you're more willing to do any game you want and maybe get like between 6 to 8 at best one day, just to make sure that you keep your sanity in check with a video game, as opposed to catering to whatever the curve is of the games that bring you the most success, just because you know that that game won't generate the same happiness and the same frank, as opposed to like a not so shitty Dead by Daylight or a really fun night of Apex.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like you can tell if I'm not enjoying a video
Oh
game.
yeah.
Like the stream is going to be 20 minutes long if I don't like what I'm playing. And I have
it
no shame of ending after
I
20 minutes. I
yeah,
will.
that I was just about to say that you have literally no shame in ending after 20 minutes, and that's what I applaud you about pretty much, is because like if I know that the stream is going to be bad or something, or if I know not many people are going to interact or join the stream, or I'm not going to get many like new interactions, yeah, of course it'd be the thing for me to be like, yo, I'm done. Wrap this shit up. I'm going to try again tomorrow. And if we fail again tomorrow, there's just another day after that. But I can't do that because now I've established a schedule of every time I'm live, I have to be live for about 4 to 5 hours. I have to be willing to try, even if I ultimately know that the day is going to be a failure.
Yeah, and that's like you said, that's where we differ. Like if you do the opposite approach as me, like if I'm like, all right, this stream fucking sucks, time to end. You're
Right.
like, all right, this sucks, time to push for another 4 hours and try to make it good.
Right. At the beginning of streaming too, like I was ultimately similar with you. I would be like, yo, it's been 40 minutes, shit hasn't happened, I'm done. Click and go to bed, whatever. But
Yep.
after a while, I noticed that like if I just in my head, I was like, hey, maybe just like try and play for an extra hour. Really try to envision there's like 5 to 10 people in here chatting, not just like viewers, 5 to 10 people chatting at once, and just start playing. And eventually, I just noticed after an extra hour, I could see an extra 1, 2, sometimes even 5 extra followers in a night, just by making sure that I keep that same energy in check, even when I ultimately think it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Streaming's a game of what if. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what if I went an extra hour, or what if
Yep.
I went an extra 30 seconds? It literally could be life-changing, which
It,
is insane.
that is literally the hardest part too, because one of the people that I watch on my community, his name's Ellis the Kid. Ellis has had many great trends when he's streaming. Like he was the main inspiration for me to start playing Among Us more consistently, because he was blowing up at his time frame at everything. Like I was about to consider going to his time frame to stream Among Us, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna do it at night. And we ultimately had similar successes. I feel like he still blew up from Among Us better than I did, but he was playing Dragon Ball Fighter the other day, whatever type of fighting game. And this man out of nowhere, I forgot the name of him, he gets a 925 person raid, almost 1,000 viewers from a
I saw that
raid.
on Twitter.
Yeah, it's amazing to see because like people don't realize you can capitalize on that. You really can because
Yep.
sometimes out of 900 people, maybe 150 to 300 people are just going to be so generous to leave you the follow. And yeah, maybe a good quarter of them will unfollow just because it was the hype of the raid. But picture those 10 other people or like 15 to 20 other people that they want to check up on you after the big dog just raided them, and they just want to like see where he's taken off or what he's about as a streamer. That's ultimately what people in our situations, what we're living for, pretty much. Like I would shit my pants if I got a 500 person raid.
Yeah, small tangent. Can we talk about that Dragon Ball Z game? Because some fuck
Yeah.
hacked my Microsoft account today and bought that
Yes.
exact Dragon Ball Z game.
He bought the Dragon Ball. So, for people that don't know, obviously Frank and I are IRL friends, so we text all the time. And I'm at work this morning, and he texts me because I wanted to see what he would want to talk about for tonight's podcast. And he tells me that some fuckhead spent $90, hacked into his Microsoft account, and spent $90 worth of stuff, which I guess included this Dragon Ball game.
Also GTA 5, so shout out you, man.
Oh my god. So like talk about the process. Can you get that money back or no?
Yeah, so I woke up, well, actually last night when I ended stream, I was looking at my email and I thought maybe it was spam. It's like so and so. Actually, let me find his Gmail.
Oh shit. He's
Uh,
pulling it up.
this is important. People need to know. Look out for
Exactly.
this guy. Am I gonna be able to find this? Hold up, it's important.
You do that. I'm going to mute my mic and take a drink.
You do that. Where did this go? Had to have been last night. Here it is. All right, Mr. Blue Giuliani at gmail.com. Yeah, so I got an email last night after I ended stream, and
Yeah.
it was here's your gift details for order so and so numbers. GTA 5 Premium Edition. He wanted the premium.
Oh my god.
And then he also decided to get, let's see. He also nabbed himself Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2 for $60.
This dude went
Yeah.
ham.
$90 off of my card, and I ignored it because I was
Oh
like,
my
oh, okay, just spam. So I didn't
Yeah.
bother. And then I got paid today because it's Friday, and I go and look at my bank account, and there's fucking $90 missing.
Oh
And this is
man.
at 7 a.m. I clock in at 7 a.m. to start work. So I'm on the phone with Microsoft on top of working. And I was able to get issued a refund, but I have to wait
Good.
5 days now. I was on
Well,
tech support for like an hour.
That's good though. That's what freaks me out about Microsoft because PlayStation, knock on wood, anywhere, but PlayStation, I haven't had any of those issues before. It worries me because I had a code given to me, and hopefully my boss doesn't look at this, that he gave to me for like a gift as a birthday present, and I didn't type it in right away. And like a few days after he gave me the code, it was already used.
Yep.
Like someone already fucking used it. They put it into those like scanning devices and like that's it.
I have a theory on that. Maybe your boss used it and it was a big fuck you.
Dude, that just picture that. This man hasn't played a video game in over 8 years. The last console he's played on was PlayStation 3, and here he is buying Xbox money. Remember when it used to be Microsoft points? It's like actual currency now. It's like dollars. And this man just like, fuck it. I'm gonna buy a shitty game just so he can't use it. Happy birthday.
I don't think you were scammed. I think you were fucked by your boss.
No, I don't think so. I was like, it's been 2 days, not even. And like, here's me, especially because he doesn't really interact with me like that, and he knows I'm a big gamer. So he's like, oh, here I am doing this awesome thing. And I thought it was fucking cool. I think I was gonna buy Verrucht from World at War on my Xbox because I don't have it on my Xbox. And I literally went to type in the code and everything, and they're like, yeah, it's been used. So it's just a huge flaw with Microsoft. They just keep taking that shit, or like they keep stealing from people.
Yeah, so do yourself a favor, and if you buy something on a video game service, pull your card info off immediately.
Exactly. That's what you have to do. That's what I've always done with PlayStation 2. I have never, and they make it so easy on PlayStation 2. Like, they force you to add it, but the second you make the purchase, it's so easy to get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you call it? Oh, lost my train of thought. But anyway, yeah, pull your info off. But
Yeah.
since we're on the topic of shitty people and scammers, can we talk about I had an experience with one of these early on into streaming. Can we talk about Discord community servers?
Dude, they can be some of the most inviting yet some of the worst and shitty experiences of all time. I want you to talk about yours first because this one I feel like was just dog shit.
Yeah, so they're pretty predatory to be honest. So
Exactly.
I had no viewers. I was playing Blackout by myself.
Yes, yes.
And this guy pops into my chat. He's like, "Hey man, nice shots. You new to streaming? How long?" Super friendly.
Right.
And I'll get into his future later on here, but
Mhm.
um, he's like, "I have this Discord server. It'd be great if you joined, and I think you'd really like it there." I was like, "Well, fuck yeah, dude. I want some follows and viewers. I'm
Fuck
early on
yeah.
in this. I'm
That's
interested."
and that's how they do it every single
Yep.
time, bro.
So I join, and uh, nothing happens really. Nothing at all. I'm not even affiliate at this time. And I'm playing Resident Evil 2 maybe a week later, and I get a 35-person raid, and I'm getting thrown $10 donations. I'm like, "What the fuck happened?" And they're like, "Oh, it's in the chat. It's all, oh, this is so and so's community. Uh you're having a great stream. This is awesome. You're great." I'm like, "Damn, dude, they love me." And then I end stream and I get a message from the guy that owns the server. He goes, "So how was that?" And I go, "That was awesome, man. Thank you for that." And he goes, "Yeah, no worries. We probably won't do that again, but make sure you hop into other streams and show that love back, or else you're gonna get removed from the server."
It's so dumb. Like
And I
literally
was,
dumb.
yep, I was literally given money and then told if I don't hop in and follow people who are being raided, I'm gonna get removed. So I did what any person did or would do, and I didn't join the raids.
Oh yeah, of course. You fuck the system, man. You whatever they tell you, go completely against it. Complete
Yeah.
anarchy.
So this was probably a couple months before I took that 6-month break.
Yeah.
I come back 6 months later, and that community is nowhere to be found. And that thing had like 2,000 members in it. It's
Yeah.
just gone.
Like it was deleted or like the community just pretty much all left.
It pretty much people have left, and I don't even know if it's a thing anymore because, like I said, I left, and
Mhm.
I don't even know if any people who were in that community still stream.
Right.
But the guy who owns the server was live last night, so shout out to you if you ever see this, you dick. And I hop
Frank
into
full of
his
shots.
stream, and he's got no viewers,
That
which is funny because he
yeah.
used to have 50.
50 concurrent viewers at a
He used
time.
to have 50 concurrent viewers. So at the end of the day, I guess I was too blind to see it at the time. This man created this server, networked himself, became
Yeah.
a giant cock, and all he did was basically have people try to carry him to partner.
Well,
And now he never even
yes.
got partner.
That's
And now he's nothing.
horrible. Literally such a horrible thing to do. Like the fact that he told you, "Hey, don't get comfy with this kind of treatment," is just fucking ridiculous. Like how are you going to tell these people? And at that point, I wouldn't even remotely think this guy wanted to be a streamer. I think he just wanted to be that Tony Montana Scarface of the Discord server itself. He didn't even care about the streaming at that point. He just loved having that huge 2,000 plus member Discord server.
He just also wanted to make some extra money on the side, it seems.
Yeah, that's the issue I have with streaming too, because it's like this is supposed to be helping people grow with each other. Like I'm always, and you know I do this a lot. I raid a lot of people every
Yeah,
single
absolutely.
stream. And depending on the night, like I'll branch out to a new person. But if that person ultimately right away I can tell just didn't deserve it in the first place, like I'm never going to do it again. I'm never going to raid that person specifically. I'm never like I'm ultimately not going to raid people that are new. I'm going to raid people that are already in my circle and become better friends with his chat and make sure my community is better friends with his chat as opposed to sending them to some dickhead. And, sometimes people are just nervous. They're new to streaming. They don't know how to receive a raid, which is totally a thing for any new streamers. That is 110% a thing. If I told you the first time I got raided, I was like right on ball and I knew what to do, I would be wrong. Frank rated me with over 30, I think, 20 or 30 people, and I shit the bed. I had no clue how to talk to any of them, and they all left within 5 minutes. So never get discouraged about the rating. But it's
I do
like,
recall.
but dude, it's just like streaming is supposed to be a way like you network with each other and you kind of pass viewers along to one another, and people are going to find what they like. And that's the risk you have to take with streaming. Like I had a few good viewers and I love these people to death, don't get me wrong, and they're always welcome in my stream. But it's so funny cuz like I have two people in mind, and I'm not going to name them just because like it's not even a big deal. I love it. It's hilarious and it's good people that have these other viewers now. But I had a really consistent viewer one time, and then I raided someone, and within 3 days, the person that I raided made this viewer a mod, and he never, like very rarely, he'll lurk or he'll do whatever, but he rarely shows up in my stream anymore because he is a huge component of that other person's stream. But that's because he really wanted to be a part of that person's stream. And if I had not raided that streamer, he would have never experienced that kind of person, and I would have felt like a dickhead. Like looking back on it, never.
Yeah, it's tough because I don't know. It sounds weird, but you almost form attachments to the people who are in
Yes.
your chat all the time.
Yeah.
And it's not discouraging to me
Right.
by any means, but I could see why someone's like, oh, this person was in my chat all the time and now they're gone. Look at them go. It's like,
Right.
damn, what did I do wrong?
Right. Exactly. And
But
that's crazy.
speaking on the uncomfortable raid thing,
Right.
that raid I had gotten from that community was the first raid I ever got.
Really.
And I still remember what I was wearing in that stream. You never forget your first raid. I was wearing some blue Nike sweatpants and a Friends t-shirt. How embarrassing.
This man said you'll never forget your first raid, which is completely true because you were my first raid. You were my first raid.
Popped your raid cherry.
You did. Oh my God. Like the first non-friend raid I had was, I think his name on Battlefront is either the Big Bear. It was either Mini or the Big Bear, but I think it was like the Big Bear or whatever. He raided with me like 15, and he kind of was just like, "Yo, here these people are for you. I'm going to bed." And I was like, I wanted to say thank you and everything, and I didn't like have the right networking tools yet in my head, like before you gave me that little tip, and like.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, like I want to say thank you, man, and he was already gone. Like the second he raided, he pretty much left.
It's funny because I have the persona that I really don't give a shit, and I kind of don't when it comes to certain things. But I have some decent tips for streaming, I promise.
I was gonna say if it weren't for you telling me to just like reach out to the followers and even people like especially at the beginning people that took the time to check into the stream, I don't think I'd be nearly as close to where I am now.
Definitely helps.
It does for sure. Like I've seen in my experience alone, I think I've seen at least 20 to 30 people, even more probably, come back when they originally follow and then they're like, I don't really vibe with this guy too much. And then I message them right after the stream and then they come back. Just because I message them, like taking the time to say how much I appreciate it. And ultimately, I do appreciate it. It really doesn't matter if you stayed in for 2 seconds or the whole stream. If you took the time to check us out, that's better than anything I could even think of.
Definitely. And to switch over to a lighter topic, Adam, I have to ask, what's your favorite video game of all time?
If you gave me this
Give me a top
question,
3.
I don't know if I can give you a top 3, but my favorite for sure is Skate 2. Skate 2 is just that video game where I could ultimately play it for hours. It does not matter what it is. It could be the main story, Hall of Meat challenges,
I just like
online.
breaking that bone.
I was going to say, the Hall of Meat challenge, the bounce glitch on Skate 2, oh my God, that was my thing. But Skate 2 was my favorite. Halo series, definitely, I would say number 2. I would put that above Call of Duty because even though Call of Duty Zombies is like the nearest and dear thing to my heart, Halo was just something that, like, truthfully, I wish never died. It was so fun. It basically was like Fortnite of 2007. Like, if that was the thing. Like, Fortnite is Halo 3 of this era.
I was always a PlayStation gamer, so I missed out on those.
Yeah, so basically what I mean is, like, Halo had really good like game modes, and I'm pretty sure they had not a full-blown battle royale like the way we look at it now and play it, but they had games where you were in a map with people and you would kill each other off until one person stood. And if that wasn't a main game mode, I guarantee you it was a custom game mode. Like someone had to have thought of that idea with Halo 3 back in 2007, 2008, because the way that that game revolutionized creating custom maps and screenshots and everything was way ahead of its time.
Yeah, it really was from what I saw. Um, would you like to hear my top three?
I would love to. I was just about to ask you, since you're a PlayStation guy, what was your top three?
All right. I don't know if I can give a specific order for the top three, but in my top three is Batman Arkham City, um, Uncharted 2, and Pokemon Fire Red are probably my top three games all time.
I honestly could see you, especially like streaming Pokemon a little bit, having Fire Red, because Fire Red is very much so a top tier Pokemon game.
I would love to stream Pokemon more. The personalities that come with streaming Pokemon, if you look on Twitch, I don't necessarily fit into that
Well,
demographic.
I was just about to say, what kind of streamers are on Pokemon?
Uh, no one I can specifically say, but a high energy,
So
wearing
high,
fursuits.
so you're saying okay, so high energy, furry. Are you like VTuber? Do you know what that is?
No,
Where you're basically like a hentai character. Like they
I
scope
think I
out.
could pull off some sick hentai.
Yeah, they scope out like this animation online that fits your figure, and you're basically a hentai
Oh,
character.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I do
so
know what
you're
that is actually.
yeah, so you're a VTuber. So are those kind of people on Pokemon?
I don't know if it's necessarily that. It's just people are so high energy on certain games like that because they do draw a younger audience,
Right.
and I ain't changing, motherfucker. I am who I am. Like I can't I can't get high energy for a Pokemon game. It's like it's one of the best games ever, but it's not a game I get hyped
I
about. It's not like
yeah,
I beat the game and I nut all over the place. Like I just, I don't
yeah,
know.
there was someone from the Fall Guys days when I played Fall Guys on stream that I rated, and like we kind of just did basically follow for follow. I know that that's a
Mm.
thing that is a big no-no, but basically
Classic.
we did a follow for follow. I rated and I followed because it was a part of the raid. I wasn't gonna be an asshole, and he was like, "Yo, I'm just gonna follow you back," and then boom, we never watch each other's streams ever, you know. And
Happens, I think.
yeah, pretty much. So he plays Pokemon very frequently. And whenever I hop into his streams, it's like it's not even that he's not entertaining. I'm just like I just don't like Pokemon anymore as like I used to. And he has pretty solid stuff like I think you would do. I fucking walk in there and he has Disturbed on. He has he has Disturbed, he has Stained playing while he's playing Pokemon. Let me catch a fucking Eevee while I'm listening to Break the Cycle. You know what I mean? It's just like
Maybe that is me. That man doesn't fear the MPA, and I don't either.
but that's the hard part too. Like, when are you gonna just say fuck the system and go balls deep? When, especially in this day and age, when everything is just so heavily monitored now, you can't even. My first YouTube upload, I didn't even realize. I even looked up copyright-free playlist. My first YouTube upload for Black Ops Cold War, I got copyright not struck, but like they gave me a claim. So if I were to ever get monetized on YouTube, that company would make money off of my video.
I'm just fearful at this point. People might think I'm corpse, and they're gonna claim my Twitch streams,
I would,
and then I'm in trouble.
yeah, you especially on stream, you sound like a prepubescent corpse
I was told that as well today while playing Apex.
by a random viewer or by your
Someone
main
that's in
viewer
your
Pounder.
community.
Oh, okay.
No, not my boy pal.
Not the boy Pounder.
Don't mention the prince.
See, it I really applaud him too because he was realistically one of your like main viewers after your break, and he's been here for a
Yep.
while, and through all of his little trolls and memes and everything, he's been really loyal to you, and he's been hopping in my streams here, there, everywhere. He was a blast when we played Among Us. He would always fuck around, and if these kids were being shitheads, he would just fuck with them and make it worse for them, and it would
Yep.
make me laugh all the time. So it's just big kudos to Pounder for being the like one of the real ones. Because I would,
Pounder's an OG, man.
yeah, he really is. I would honestly kill to see where my most OG of OG viewer, like back when I played Minecraft in 2019 in front of two people, one of them being like your lurk and another person being that viewer. I just want to know how he's been. He's came back initially with Battlefront, and then I hadn't seen him since.
Funny enough, my not OG viewer, but pretty old
Yeah.
DJ. DJ still hangs around. I love that man.
That man is such a good time and such a fun person to play with, because he ultimately is like, he doesn't give a shit if we're like big streamers or not. He just wants to have a fun time.
He's great.
He's
a good
awesome.
guy.
Yeah, I love that. And that's why I like playing with viewers, because sometimes if I can do a Discord chat or something, or at least like talk to them in game chat if possible, it's awesome. But some of them, they really just, they're like, they're dickheads, you know?
Yeah, I've been lucky with the viewers I've played with.
Yes, for sure.
Someone I've been playing with a ton, who we both know, obviously, is Sliv.
Yes.
And she's awesome.
She's
So, I mean,
fantastic. One of the
she's
best
a bot,
mods.
but
She's a bot. She's boosted too.
yeah, she really is.
Big boosted.
We can. I played her in the Apex 1v1s today, but we can save that for another day.
Absolutely. I would love to do that. So, Frank, what do you think gaming and like streaming as a whole will be like in the next few years?
Somehow bigger than it already is.
So you think it's going to actually take off more than what it's at now?
I think TV's dying in the next couple years.
So you think like full-blown cable is just done, or it's like, is it 3 channels? You get 3 channels of cable and the rest is streaming platforms.
We're getting sports and we're getting news, and then we're getting Logan Paul boxing. That's all we're getting.
Logan Paul boxing. Okay. He's
like
interesting.
YouTube is TV, man. Like if sports aren't on, I'm not watching TV.
Yeah. No, I do agree.
I plot my ass in a chair at the end of the day, and I watch Moist Critical
Yes.
for about 2 hours, and then I go to bed.
That's fair. That is high key fair. And if it weren't for these streaming platforms being prevalent in the modern day, I don't think I would watch any form of TV. Like, I would just be playing games, streaming, and then if I wasn't online, I'd probably be asleep or actually reading a book.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you for that. Nothing like a good book.
Because there's just nothing good on anymore. And that's why I was kind of curious, because I feel like streaming is it's going to go up. I know for sure it's going to keep increasing and getting better in all these types of like good ways possible. But
absolutely,
it's going to take something like another Fortnite game. And that's the hard part, because you don't know when that's going to happen. You just never know when those games are going to take over the universe. And even now, when a game you think is going to take over the universe, they always seem to just fizzle out within a month. Like Apex literally took the world by storm, especially with EA paying all these streamers to play it for like a week straight.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, like EA paid everybody to play it at launch week. And it was the top thing for like at least a month and a half, 2 months. And then they just didn't update it.
Yeah, and I was an early endorser of that game.
You loved it. Yeah.
I loved it.
Yes.
Now I'm back on 3 years later.
Well, that's because they have a little bit more content on there. I just think all games that have a skill-based matchmaking without a rank, especially if they have a ranked mode and they still force you to do it in casual, like I won't get into it too much, but I just think that's just pointless. So I haven't found it.
For another stream.
Oh yeah, for 100%, 100%. All of the gaming stuff we won't talk about today is what we'll talk about in the next one for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton to cover. But,
so much.
I guess we're hitting the hour mark. I guess to wrap up, I figured we would go through this thing I thought of.
Yeah.
It's not a game per se, but I want us to both think of things that are, in your opinion, cool or not cool, and we'll both come to a conclusion if it's cool or not. All right?
Okay, I want you to start, because I feel like since you thought of it, you have an idea in your head.
Ugg boots.
Ugg boots for males or females?
Both. Are they still cool?
I don't think they're in as much anymore, but women that have them to begin with will always sport them outside for sure.
Are we in agreement that UGG boots are no longer cool? Because I never understood the leggings UGG boot trend in high school.
I didn't either. I didn't think it was a bad thing necessarily, but I was just like, it's 40 fucking degrees outside. Why do you need UGG boots now?
All right, hit me with one. We'll do a few more.
See, what was I gonna say? Shit.
I have one more if you need
Yeah,
time.
yeah, you do that. I have to think of one.
This is gonna sound stupid, but coffee. Is drinking coffee cool? Because I feel like years ago, like if it was like, oh, there's a guy with a cup of Joe at his desk, he's pretty fucking cool. Is coffee cool, Adam? Because I don't think it's fucking cool.
I think it's one of those things that I don't think it's cool. I need it to function. Like I actually on a day-to-day basis, and people are like, "Oh, caffeine's so bad for you." But it's like, dude, if I get 4 hours of sleep trying to make my dreams happen, and that's 150 milligrams of caffeine, if it could get me through a short 5-hour shift at work, I'm gonna fucking take it every single day of my life. So
I
it's
had two Ventis today.
two ventis, bro.
First one was bad. I had to get another.
That's like $14.
It was expensive.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
I got paid today, and Microsoft fucked me. I deserve it.
pretty much, man. That's like I can't do two venti. I think I'd be off the wall if I did two ventis.
I feel pretty okay. I'm a little shaky, and I was kind of cracked at Apex. So.
I was pretty cracked at Apex. What
All
is
right, hit me with one.
what has everyone done at least once before? Oh, do you think mandals are cool? So like wearing socks with sandals, like the open toe ones, like the Nike slides and shit.
I will never be an endorser of sandals of any kind. If I go to the beach, you're gonna call me a psychopath. I'm wearing shoes.
You're wearing shoes to the beach?
I don't wear sandals to the beach.
Believe it or not, I actually just when I get to the beach, if I'm in flip-flops, I just take them off before I get on the sand.
Yeah, what the fuck's the point?
Yeah, I always just take them off before I get to the sand because they're always going to get fucked up in the end. If there's a
I'm gonna
water
lose.
station to clean them off, you just clean them off at the end and there's still little bits of sand in them. So it's just like I take them off the beginning, put them in a bag, and then clean off my feet really well and hope to God that I just don't get them dirty after I put them back on when I'm in the car.
All right, I'm gonna hit you with one more, and then if you have one more, we can wrap after.
That's fine with me, buddy. That's fine with
Be
me.
a hard hitting one.
Sure.
Streaming.
I don't
Cool or uncool?
It's tough cuz I as much as I think it's a cool hobby, I feel like so many people, especially me, like there are so many people that just they have that mindset like, "Oh, I think I could do this," or like, "Oh, it's fun either way if it fails or not." But they don't have a fucking vision. They don't have a vision of like potentially being successful. They just do it because, "Oh, this random guy did it and he blew up, blah blah blah." Like so that's the cool part. But no, it's not cool. Basically, if you don't have a vision on streaming or you're just doing it as a hobby, like you per se, but like even worse, like you still have 50 followers minimum after 3 years of streaming,
Yeah.
like you're basically, I'm not going to say wasting space, but like you're making it harder for people that are putting in long hours and putting in so much work and researching and doing whatever they can to grow their community because you just think it's edgy and you think that, oh, maybe one day I'll get a 1,000 viewer raid or I'll be able to make, $1,000+ a month streaming. Like I don't like if I had a choice right now, I would still stream, but it is so much harder for me, especially in 2021. I think I would pursue something else in terms of content. That's ultimately why I wanted to do this podcast in the first place, because sometimes I feel like streaming is just one of those things that everyone really just tries to do as a hobby and like, oh, I'm just going to half-ass it and not really give it a full-blown shot. And then, I'm going to get mad that I have only 40 to 50 followers after a year and a half when I don't change anything up or I don't research. So, final answer, not cool.
I think streaming is cool subjectively.
Yes.
I won't go into it, but I think it's subjectively cool.
That I can agree with for sure. That is what I can agree with. I just don't think it's cool when people kind of just take up space or they like to consider themselves a streamer when they really don't do shit besides like 2 hours maybe once a week.
I'm a big streamer, man.
I was going to say you do at least anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a week. That to me is more dedication than one person like, "Oh, I have 30 minutes. I'm just going to fuck around on Search and Destroy and play one game." And then
It's a
they get
part-time
mad.
job.
Yeah, they get mad that they have no followers, no viewers when they literally stream for 30 minutes, one search and destroy match, and they're just like, what happened?
Why am I not big,
Yeah,
mom?
like why am I not Ninja at this point?
Dyes his hair blue.
Oh man. All right, I think I got one.
All right, let's hear it.
Fortnite. Is it
Uncool.
cool? Why do you think it's uncool?
To keep it brief, Fortnite is now uncool because building happened, even though it's the plot point of the game. Fuck
Yes.
building.
Fuck
Destroyed my
building.
destroyed my skills in that game entirely. And it caters to kids too much, and it's all about making money now. Like, I can't go on to Fortnite without seeing a skin of the fucking Mandalorian or Tony Stark flying above me and then fucking my face.
Fair
There's like,
enough.
Fortnite is uncool. Case closed.
Okay. I personally, I think the concept is still really, really cool of Fortnite. Like they have done so many things that honestly no game will ever do, but the way that they went about making it as popular as it was and like through Twitch and everything, it just I don't feel like it went down the right path. Like people high key are in agreement that if they didn't put creative or like any ways for they call them like creative warriors, those people that only go on there to practice building and editing and doing all these crazy things.
Yep.
If they had not put that in the game and forced them to practice through actual gameplay, then a lot of people would have stayed on the game for a much longer period of time. Like I personally agree with that statement because one of our good buddies, Roop, he was big on Fortnite for a while, actually made money off of a tournament.
Won some money. Yep.
Yeah, won some money off of a tournament. And like now he doesn't even play the game just because of those types of people.
I was just duo partner for a little bit. No big deal.
Yeah, you were my duo partner, and then you were like, man, this guy's too shit. I gotta get a G. I gotta get a G that actually finishes the job.
Yeah, I guess so. Any closing things before we end, man?
No, I mean, I thought this was a really good thing to start, and I enjoyed it. It's been like what, an hour and 7 minutes, but
Yeah.
I really do like it. I hope that we can get a few guests, but this is something that I actually wouldn't mind doing like every week or every other week if we have the time, just because, content is stale and I want to do something different. And, even though people say, everyone makes a podcast or everyone wants to try this, that, and the other, not many people are going to stick. So as long as we stick, I feel like we can get some form of viewership.
Everyone has thoughts, damn it.
Everyone does have thoughts, so you just kind of have to combat them and be willing to truck it.
Definitely. Well, yeah, it's even cool just to sit around for an hour and shoot the shit. I mean, it's almost like we're in a PlayStation party, but
Yeah.
it's recording and going online.
Right, and we're not really wasting our time by playing Warzone and getting shit on for an hour. We're actually doing something to try and promote ourselves as streamers, content creators, and even just friends.
Definitely. Yeah, well, I mean, it was great, and I'm sure next week we'll record the second. I'm try to get someone on. If not, I'm good just to roll with us.
Same. I'm down to keep doing this, man.
All right. Well,
All
if
right.
anyone made it, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. And this is hopefully going up pretty soon.
Absolutely. Be sure to like, subscribe on both of our channels, and make sure if this is on a streaming platform that you give us a positive rating if that's possible.
Absolutely.
Take it easy, friends.